I don't know why. I think there's been a couple defensive plays that have put Nick Robertson in the doghouse, but I still think there's a lot of talent there, and I feel like the patience with him at the NHL level hasn't been there. Because, like, I don't expect Nick Robertson to be perfect. If this guy tops out as a third-line guy, great. As a third-line scoring threat, great. I don't expect him to be Jason Robertson. I just think that, objectively, when you look at the talent the guy has, it's better than any of the players on that list. Other than, like, and Nyes is playing up high. But if we're talking about Holmberg, Robertson, Gregor, McMahon, Robertson is the most talented. So over the course of 82 games, you think you're going to get the most positivity out of him.
Jesse, can you click on Robertson's profile there, just so we can see his salary breakdown?
Sure.
Because, like, he has wanted to be a Leaf, right? So we sort of talked about this the other day with Dennis Hildeby. His base salary in the NHL is $775,000. His minor salary, because he's on an entry-level deal, is $70,000. So every day he spends in the NHL, he's making 10 times what he would in the minors. So don't feel too bad for this guy when he's a healthy scratch in the NHL, because he's still in the NHL. There seems to be some sort of underlying resistance here. There should be no problem with this guy at his age friggin' playing games in the American Hockey League and doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what, are you too good? Like, I assure you, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this isn't a knock against the guy, but, like, what if he's not in the doghouse? Like, I think the doghouse is reserved for guys who don't listen to their coach. I don't think Nick Robertson's uncoachable. I think he's got probably a harder work ethic than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in his ability to develop. I believe in his ability to play. But, like, dude, he gets run over every time he's out there. He gets knocked off his feet 3, 4, 5 times a game.
So is that like a gym thing this summer? Like, you gotta get the Marty St. Louis I don't legs going, or
I don't know. I don't think he's making stupid mistakes, and that's why he
did. That's what got him.
Yeah,
scratched.
but, like, anyone's gonna do that, right? Like, all right, let's scratch Giordano then. You know what I mean?
The leash is different for somebody who's 22 and working his way into the lineup as opposed to a former Norris Trophy winner.
That's right.
You know,
and what is the byproduct of that? Like, what's the consequence? The consequence is you're a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if you want to go to the minors, develop your game, play a bunch, first unit power play, all that, great. We'll accommodate you right away, send you down to the minors. We'll all have a Merry Christmas. Mm-hmm. If you want to stay in the NHL and learn what it's like to be an NHL player, practice in the NHL, do NHL video coaching sessions, you're going to sit.
And mention the most important thing.
The money.
There you go. And
money.
If you want this extra couple $100,000, you're going to have to get scratched every now and then.
You don't need to be a finance major to know that $775,000 is bigger than 70.
Yeah, and the minor league thing, we did it. We did that this start of this season. We had Nick Robertson down in the minors, and he excelled, and he was too good for it, and now he's up there. And
I don't believe that.
No, but when he was down there, that's all we talked about was like, oh, we got to call him up now.
Yeah.
That we talked about that on this show for weeks because he was doing so good. And we're like, all right, that's enough minors for him. Let's bring him up. So we're going to do that again. He's going to go down. He's going to excel. And we're going to be like, all right, bring him up again. We're not going to learn our lesson.
But I also like, oh, well, we got to trade him. Like all the people saying, no, you don't.
No.
Stop it. Dubas isn't here anymore. You don't have to do right by every player. If they traded every player who asked for it, if every team did that,
be a lot more trades. It'd be nice.
There'd be a lot more. Remember when Ilya Mikheyev was like, trade me? Mm-hmm. And Dubas just simply went, no. And then he played great.
And then
he played the best hockey of his career. He asked for a trade. They didn't trade him. They said, how about you fucking play better? He played better, and now he's a multimillionaire. That's doing right by a guy. You're welcome, Ilya. Mm-hmm. I get tired about the lack of patience on both ends with Nick Robertson. This is a fine player who's going to be better.
Yeah.
I just hope he gives himself the opportunity to do it.
And if you look at, say, if you look at, for instance, Zach Hyman and his progression at his age, that guy, I mean, I remember when he broke in with the Leafs and they had him on the top line with Matthews and Nylander at the time because Marner and Matthews wanted to play together. So Mike Babcock said, absolutely not.
it was technically the third line.
I hate Joy. Yeah, that was the third line. Everybody's like, why are we putting Captain Stonehands with the best young goal scorer of his generation, right?
Yeah, and
like,
then it quickly became whatever line has Zach Hyman on it is the top line.
Yes. 100%. But I think, that first couple of years, outside of the shorthanded goals, I think he set the shorthanded goal record in his first year for the Leafs.
For rookies.
For rookies. He was amazing. He couldn't finish. There were so many goals he just swung and missed on. And he is now what, 30? 31?
I'm not sure.
And
he was drafted. He's older than you think.
I am not saying that Nick Robertson is going to become Zach Hyman. All I'm saying is that players do develop later. Zach Hyman is 31 right now. Okay?
No way.
Okay? So when he started with the Leafs, like full-time in 16-17, which is the first year with Matthews, Marner, and Nylander, he had 10 goals. Then the next year he had 15. Then the next 21. Then 21. And then back to 15. And then Oilers, now he's playing with McDavid, 27, 36. And right now he has 26 goals in 37 games.
And to just put it in perspective, if I'm not mistaken, Hyman's rookie season with the Leafs, not the one where he had a cup of coffee with the bad logo.
Yeah. That's the 16. Yeah, that's 16,
the next
17.
year with Matthews.
16, 17.
I'm pretty sure he was the same age, maybe a year younger than Pontus Holmberg is now.
And Pontus Holmberg's going to be 25.
So
this can't happen. And I look at Zach Hyman.
What I'm saying is guys take a while to figure it out, man.
Can I also point you in the direction of another Canadian ice hockey player? That name, former Leaf, Carter Verhaeghe. A guy who the Leafs traded Carter Verhaeghe like 5 years before he regularly got into the lineup with Tampa.
And so did the Islanders.
Yeah, that's right. Because
they traded him to the Islanders. He never played a game.
He played 2 years with the Crunch before the Lightning even gave him a shot. And his first full year with the Islanders, he had 52 games, 9 goals. Then the next year...
He did play with the Islanders?
Oh, sorry, not the Islanders, the Lightning. Then he goes to Florida and it's like 18 goals in 43 games. Whoa, 24. 42!
I know.
And he's got, in 41 games this year, 22 goals. My point is, it's got some time. I don't know what Nick Robertson tops out at. Maybe they do include him in a trade at the trade deadline. But I do feel like maybe adjust the expectations on this kid. He wasn't a top 5 draft pick. We don't need to be that hard on. It's not like Juraj Slafkovsky where there's a ton of pressure on this guy.
Yeah, the bar is different.
Here's a guy that's what does Nick Robertson have right now? And I'm just pulling up his stats here.
They're not terrible.
They're
not bad.
12 points in 25 games.
This is like half a point a game.
Is that a third liner to you?
He has 12 points in 25 games.
6 and 6.
That's more than I thought. He has 6 goals.
Yeah.
That's not bad, man.
Not bad at all.